Have you been delaying hiring a triathlon coach because you don't specifically know what to look for, or there's so many coach options out there that you just start to feel overwhelmed and then you don't do anything or hire anybody? Well, if so, you're not alone, and you're going to feel confident by the end of this video because you're going to have a checklist that you can go through that will help you zero in on the best type of coach for you so that you can get back to putting your time and energy into what's really important: training hard and having fun out there on the trails. Hey, Eric with ewjtri here, bringing you a new video every week so that your next race becomes your best race. Hit that red subscribe button so that you not only get faster, but you don't make the same mistakes that I've made along the way. For any of you that's seen my other videos, you know I've had some troubles with triathlon and made a lot of mistakes along the way. But I also learned a lot from them, and as a result, I've had the great opportunity to race at the Xterra Off-Road World Triathlon Championships in Maui and the Ironman Championships in Kona. Now, a lot of triathletes like you struggle with whether or not they should hire a coach. If you're still trying to decide if you should get one or not, I'll put a link in the upper corner here for a video that's helping you decide yes or no. If the answer is yes, keep watching, and that's what we're talking about today. And the best place sometimes to start is a referral source. So check with your local triathlon club or your local multi-sport shop as a way to get a few recommendations. The other thing you can do is search trainingpeaks.com, and there's a bunch of coaches on there. That's also the software that I use. As your coach, I will help you navigate the difficulty of training in 3 steps. Number 1, I will meet with you and analyze your dreams and goals. Number 2, I'm going to give you a custom training plan. And number 3, if you'd like, I can be there the whole way through and we can help execute the whole thing together. If you want to learn more about working with me as a coach, email me at ewjtri@gmail.com and we can set up a free 15-minute FaceTime consultation. So I may not be the best coach for everyone, but I might be the best coach for you. Either way, whatever coach you talk to, you better ask these following questions. Is it important that your coach be local? So do you want to meet with them face to face? Perhaps do you want to be able to do a workout with them or have them train with you in person? And finally, do you want them to be able to come to a race perhaps if it's local? So that is something that's really it could be really important, but it also may limit your choices, which could be fine, but really ask yourself that first. If it's not essential that they be local because you can do video conferencing, email, and so on, then you've got a lot more options. But make sure you ask, if they're not local, what is the way they communicate? Is it by text, email, FaceTime, etc.? So what is their communication being away from you? After that, what I think is the most important is personality style. So, do you want a coach that just tells you what to do and doesn't let you ask any questions? Do you want some super smart coach that's kind of a jerk? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but what gels with your personality? And perhaps you want someone that is more of a collaborative style, works with your personality, understands your lifestyle, and lets you ask, what's this workout for? What's that workout for? Because after all, every workout should have a purpose, and there shouldn't be an issue with explaining why that is. But again, ask yourself what you're looking for and do your personalities jive. And that may take a little bit of time. You might go through a couple of coaches, and that's okay until you find the right one. But personality style is really what you want to look for. Do you want your coach to have a specialty? And so what I mean by that is, are you looking for a coach that focuses on Ironman athletes? Do you want a coach that focuses on off-road Xterra athletes, especially given the specificity of running on the trails, biking on the trails? That's very different than running on the road, as I'll put a link to one of my videos discussing the differences of that it's not quite the same. Recovery can be different. The amount of time you spend working out is different on the trails. So do you want somebody that specifies in beginners? So just really, what is the coach's specialty, and is that important to you? Do you want your coach to be a triathlete? Is it okay if they've participated in the past? Do you want them to be currently participating? Do you want them to actually be a professional triathlete, either current or past? And are those things important to you? Another question is sort of training philosophies. And if you don't have your own training philosophy, then that makes it easy. Then you can see what the coach has and if that works for you. But if you've kind of developed one over the years, does that gel with the coach you're looking at's philosophy? And some of the specific things could be like based on nutrition or calorie intake, and if your coach wants you to really carbo load or eat meat, but you're vegetarian or vegan. So those things could be deal breakers, but they could also just be a matter of discussion. And if the coach treats you as an individual, they may be able to meet your needs in that way. So just check on that aspect of it. Do you want there to be other elements in the training program, such as nutrition or strength training or race tactics? Look for those things if you feel like they may be important. Also, how do you receive your workouts? Is it through software like I use, like Training Peaks? Does it come through email? And then how often are you getting those workouts? Are they updated daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? Another important question is, how is your progress measured, and how do you want it to be measured? If the coach wants to use power on the bike, but you don't have a power meter, then you should probably use something else, right? So whether it's heart rate, rate of perceived exertion, what do you potentially want to use, and what is the coach's use? And that kind of goes with their training philosophy as well. It's important to ask your potential coach about response time. How fast do they get back to you after you text, email, contact them or something with a question? And then if you decide to hire them, or there's a trial period, do they actually get back to you within that time frame and say what they do and do what they say? You could also ask about group coaching to see if there's something formal like that. And then also commitment. So how much time do you feel like you're going to commit? So are you just signing up for a race that's in 12 weeks and planning on stopping? Are you thinking of perhaps doing 6 months or a year, or even a 1 to 3 year plan if you've got a long-term goal of qualifying for the World Championships? And it doesn't have to be set in stone, but when you sort of enter into that commitment, what sort of are your plans? And they may or may not change, but what are you looking for? And then sometimes coaches require a minimum of 12 weeks or 6 months, whatever. And so just making sure that's very clear before you get started. All right, so that's it. Now you know the questions to ask yourself, if you want them or not, and then ask your potential coach and see what he or she says. And if it's a good fit, you're going to wish you'd hired a triathlon coach a long time ago. But the second best time is right now. If you'd like to learn about coaching with me right this second, email me at ewjtri@gmail.com. We'll set up that free 15-minute FaceTime consultation. And either way, until then, I will see you on the trails. Hey, Eric with ewjtri here, bringing you a new video every week. Is it important that your coach be, but that can also be a difficult part as well.